Welcome to the Wellness Way Cafe. What we are making now is an chunky avocado dip. So what we're going to do first is I want you to go ahead and grab out all the ingredients on the list. You got your avocados, tomatoes, celery, cilantro, onion, lime, the salsa that we previously made in another recipe. If you don't you have this, go ahead and just grab any type of salsa. We got a little bit of hot sauce and our seasonings. So it's pretty simple to throw together. This is considered a raw food. It's a vegan food as well. So go ahead, what we're going to do first is we're going to grab our avocados. And I want you to just grab your knife, your cutting board, and what we're going to do is just kind of stick it in here, and now we're just going to cut the entire thing right in half, just like so. So we're going to do this with 2 avocados. We're just going to make a small amount today, and just like that. So I'll put my knife off to the side. So go ahead and grab your avocados. What we're going to do now is we're just going to take the spoon and we're going to scoop out the little pit. Pretty simple. Now, from here, grab your bowl, and we're just going to reach the spoon in, and if you just scrape right all the way around, boom, the avocado just comes right out. Scrape the inside, and you are good to go. So, avocados, you hear different people say different stuff about them. They're actually really, really good for you. They are a great source of all different nutrients that are good for the body. They really help. They're about 80% of them, though. People say avocados are fattening. And the only thing about that is, yeah, they contain about 80% polyunsaturated fats, which are actually good fats. They're really good for you, and you need to be getting them. So I'm totally okay with that. It's also a good source of protein and a bunch of other nutrients. So it's good to eat avocados. Good to eat fresh and raw. Let's go ahead. Just put our 2 avocados into the bowl. So once we get these into the bowl, we're going to grab our fork, and what I want you to do is just kind of mash these down, and we're just going to soften everything up. So just like so, mash them up together. And now some people are perfectly okay using their avocado dip just like this. And what we're going to do is make it a nice dip. Okay. So, once you get it to the consistency that you want, we're going to go ahead and add the rest of this stuff in there. Put that off to the side. Clean up your mess. Let's go ahead and get these out of the way. And now, let's go ahead and grab our celery. So celery really good as well. Helps us with the blood. It's really good for a lot of different things. So we're going to use, I like to use lots of celery in our recipes. From here we're going to cut those in half, and then we're just going to use 2 sticks of celery. And from here, we're just going to chop them down and dice them into small pieces. Just like so. So I really wanted to, make sure that you guys saw how much time this actually takes, and you got to see the whole process. And that's why I didn't have everything pre-cut and pre-made, so you can actually see, how we throw this together and how fast it really can be. Next we have the onion. This is just about a quarter of an onion, of a sweet onion. Okay, be careful on what kind of onion you use. If you use like a cooking onion, it's going to be really tough to eat. So you want to eat an onion that you can actually eat slivers of it and it tastes good. So this is a sweet onion, and I just want to dice this as well, so I'm going to cut this down, and I'm just going to kind of chop this whole thing up here, and then I'm going to turn it and make sure I don't get too big of pieces in here. So even though I like the onion, sometimes you can get a really big chunk and it makes it really tough to eat, even though it's a sweet onion. So that we're good there. Go ahead and throw your onion in. And all this here is organic. I always make sure that I eat organic as much as possible, where it's not genetically modified, it's not sprayed with pesticides and herbicides and fungicides and all that kind of stuff deliberately. So we kind of limit the toxins that we get put in our body. So cilantro is next. We go ahead and chop this up. Now cilantro has got a lot of great detoxifying properties, one of those being that it has the ability to attach to heavy metals and detox your body of heavy metals. And when I had severe heavy metal issues, I ate a lot of cilantro, and I was adding it to everything. I've come up with a lot of my own cilantro recipes. And go ahead and just take your small bunch, throw that into the bowl. And we'll go ahead and move this so you can see what we're putting together here. So next I've got 2 small Roma tomatoes. So these, again, I'm just going to cut into smaller pieces. So let's go ahead and slice them in half twice. And now what I'm going to do is just kind of cut them into little tiny pieces like so. Just little bite-sized pieces. And throw those in there. So again, not that long. Just takes a few minutes of cutting prep time to make this dish. But it's very, very good. I've gotten a lot of compliments on how I put this together. And there we go. Just like so. Got one. And Roma tomato number 2. Tomatoes, again, lots of good stuff about this food. If you really get into nutrition and start following, what these foods can do for you, all these foods have great healing properties on the body if you're dealing with any type of ailments. We know that tomatoes are good for the blood. They're actually, even though they're acidic, they help the body alkalize, so they're really good for that. If you really sit down and start looking at that stuff, and if you're dealing with certain ailments or anything like that, just really start to look at what natural fruits and vegetables and what kind of, healing properties different foods have, and just eat accordingly. All right, so next we're moving into a lime. Right here, just want you to cut your lime in half. Like so, and we're just going to juice the lime in our handy dandy little citrus juicer here. Go ahead and put that down. So we know that limes and lemons are antimicrobial. They clean the blood. They're good for a lot of different things. There's different cleanses you can actually do that are just like lemon juice and a few other things that are really, really good for the body because of what they do for you. So let's go ahead. And there we go. Alright, so once we've got our lime juiced, go ahead and dump the lime juice in there. We are almost done. Alright, so we'll go ahead and move that out of the way. We previously made our salsa, so I'm going to go ahead and open that. And with our homemade salsa, what we're going to do is we're just going to take about 3 good scoops here and put that into our mix. We'll put that off to the side. Now, if you don't have the homemade salsa recipe yet, it's in the recipe book. If you don't have that, you can go ahead and use any type of salsa you want. Here, I've also got a hot sauce, and what we're going to do with this is just add a little spice to it. So we're just going to take this and add just a couple of dabs of hot sauce. And then we've got our ground cumin. We're going to season it with a little bit of cumin. Not a lot. And we've got our garlic powder. We'll go ahead and sprinkle this across the top. I like garlic powder. I might add a little bit more. We've got our natural sea salt. Now this is full of trace minerals. It's an organic, I think this one's a Redmond sea salt. There's Celtic sea salt. There's all these really good sea salts that you want to make sure that you get because they're full of trace minerals. And when we add salt to our diet, that's really what we need. We need the iodine, we need all these different trace minerals back in our diet. Not the processed, big thing of 99-cent, iodized salt. That stuff isn't good for you. So go ahead and get yourself some good sea salt with lots of trace minerals. Make sure that it looks kind of almost dirty. It almost looks like dirty salt because it's full of different stuff from the sea. Alright, there we go. And now we're going to give it a little bit more zing. I've got a little bit of cayenne pepper here. And I'm just going to touch a little bit of this in there, like so. And that is it. That's all of our ingredients. Pretty simple to put together. Now I'm just going to start mixing all that up. And as you can see, we've got ourselves a nice, chunky avocado dip coming together. Okay. Now I've kind of made this up with a lot of these different ingredients one day. I'm sure that someone else has done the same at this point. And I've gotten a lot of people, they really enjoy this, they really like it, they've used it on all different recipes. We're actually going to use this throughout the recipe book. There are several different things we're going to make where we're going to add this avocado dip to the other recipes. So, as you put the book together and start doing some of the other recipes, kind of look through them and, look at what we're using. And that, my friends, is our chunky avocado dip. So chunky avocado dip, pretty simple, pretty fast. Hope you enjoyed the recipe. I know it tastes great. A lot of people love it. I do too. I'll see you on the next recipe. Thanks for watching.